I've been craving for this particular African food since I traveled abroad, and today I finally got it. Now, trust me, this particular African food is a particular food that every single Africans abroad is craving to have a taste of it, but it's very, very difficult to access because you can't easily get it here. And while I was growing up in the boarding school, this particular African food, we can easily equate it to precious stones because of the length we can go to actually have access to this particular African food. You can do even hard labors for people who have this particular African food to give it to you just to have access to it. And that was why we refer to it as precious stone back then in the boarding school. So how exactly did I get this African stone here in Europe, even when it is very, very difficult to have access to it? But before I actually tell you how I got this African food here in Europe, let me tell you how we prepare these African delicacies and how you can enjoy it before I show you where you can get it from. So the first thing you're going to do is to get a very clean bowl, and then you add some of this precious stone into the bowl. Now, in case I've not given you the actual name of this precious stone, it is called Gary. This precious stone is called Gary. So you add some of it here. After adding some of the Gary in the bowl, you run it down with a very chilled water from the fridge, because trust me, this particular African food is best served chilled. Now, after running down the chilled water, you're going to decant it. Now, there's a reason why I'm decanting it, and you're going to find out in the next step. So I'm going to decant the water, and then after decanting it, you're going to get your spoon, right? Because you're going to use your spoon with it. So I'm going to raise my spoon, and then here we go. So after getting your spoon, the next thing, you can add some sugar if you are a lover of sugar, but I'm not really a fan of sugar, so I'm not going to be needing sugar. But then there's something I use in garnishing this African delicacy, So I'm going to use some granules, to garnish this particular African delicacy. And then this granules will add some form of protein into it so that it can, give me some protein, because this precious stone called Gary is actually a starch food. So should I add some more? No, I think this is good to go. Yeah, I think this okay. So after adding the granule, the next thing, I'm going to garnish it with what? Some chilled and cold milk from the fridge. Yeah, I prefer to take it with milk actually. So I'm going to run some milk down. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So now I've got my milk in it, and this is called Massive. Yeah, back in the boarding house there, we call it Massive. So that's exactly how to prepare this particular African delicacy, Gary. I've been craving for this particular food since I traveled abroad, and today I finally got it. Oh my God. I love this food. And yeah, don't forget to like this video if you're enjoying it. And I want to dedicate this particular video to a very special soul who went out of her way to get this particular precious stone for me back here in Europe, because trust me, it's very, very difficult to get, especially here abroad, because you have to go looking for African stores that are selling this particular precious stone called Gary, and not all the African stores here have it. And if you happen to find any particular African store in Europe that is selling this Gary, trust me, it is very, very, very expensive. So special thank you to this special somebody who went out of her way to get this precious stone for me. Trust me, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. So guys, if you want to get this Gary, drop a comment in the comment section. I'm going to give you the address in Europe where you can get this particular precious stone. Enjoy.